Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutilus on Discord.
This is Parker, go by one who parks on Discord.
This is Aaron, I go by Treffenwood on Discord.
Welcome back for, as always, a riveting episode of Infamous. Parker, are you dancing?
I am! I'm having a great time! I'm really excited about today. I didn't know if you guys would notice. I don't know if you how much you pay attention.
Sadly, I pay too much attention to your webcam. It'd be nice if you ever paid attention to mine when I'm like waving frantically to get you to pay attention to me because you're like saying something that's wrong.
That's because when I start talking, I only look up and down and around. That's how I roll when it comes to podcasting. I wish there was some other way to do that. I find it awkward to talk at a camera, and I know that's exactly the opposite of what you want to do in any sort of actual broadcasting. I get it. I would have to practice that skill if I actually did some sort of visual broadcast. Talking to a camera would be something that I would have to get over that, and it gives the ickies. I don't know what it is.
I don't need you to like talk to the camera. I just need you to watch my screen while you're talking, and so it's almost like you're talking to me because you're looking at me. That's what I do. I look at your guys' pictures when I'm talking to you individually. That way, I can see if you're like what your reaction is. And apparently, the way you have a conversation over Discord is you stare at your keyboard. And you do all these hand movements while looking directly down, and then never respond to anybody who ever says anything to you or tries to like stop you from talking.
Yeah. I spend a lot of brain power like constructing the syntax and the verbiage, and because I do that,
sign language.
I talk with my hands, and so I'm activating so many skills, motor skills primarily, probably. Then I really struggle to look up and talk directly to a screen. I wonder if I do that in real life. No one has ever told me that I don't make eye contact, but maybe I do that.
God, that would be great if you're in class staring at your shoes talking to the children.
It's
like you're a composer because you're looking down and moving your hands.
That I absolutely don't do. I do a really good job of talking directly to the class. So clearly, this is something that I do. I reserve only for the cast. But
yeah. Only people you really care about.
Yeah. Speaking of people I really care about, Aaron went over the ocean, all the way over the sea. Aaron, where did you go? All the way over the ocean.
Apparently, Parker's attempting to direct the podcast, so I guess we'll let him do that.
I want to know. I'm really excited. I'm chomping at the bit. It's the reason why I was dancing.
I'll just rearrange the script here of the order in which we're going to talk about things. Yes, Parker wants to know about this.
I want to know about it right now. I want you to know. I want to live vicariously through Aaron so bad, and his world travels. It will be my biggest regret in my life. I have a feeling that I'll never world travel, and I will die with it on my lips with that regret. And so,
I heard specifically that you were hungry, and so I just want to know: are you now not hungry?
Mm-hmm.
I am no longer hungry for Hungary.
Okay.
Womp womp.
Yeah. I just got back last night at midnight, so I'm still seriously jet lagged. But overall, it was a pretty good trip. The logistics were better than I feared. So anytime you're going from the middle of nowhere, central U.S. to Eastern Europe, it's at least 2 legs. Like you have to go from Kansas City to a major hub out of the States to probably somewhere in Western Europe. And then from Western Europe over to Eastern Europe. There might be an exception or two, but that's generally how it works. So that total time, like from the time I left my house until I got to the hotel, was like 25 hours. It was like 26 on the way back. It's just a long, long ass day because I don't sleep very well on airplanes.
So what part of Hungary did you go?
Budapest.
Oh, okay.
So we got there. We toured for 2 days. Drank some wine. Had lots of rambunctious sex. And then my wife left me to go to Italy to visit my family who was over there. And I got to Blood Bowl for a while and then hang out an extra day.
So the choice was go to Italy and not play Blood Bowl, or go to Hungary and play Blood Bowl.
Or
that's an interesting
hang out
choice.
while I played Blood Bowl. That was her choice.
Oh, no, I meant like if I was there.
Oh, if you were there, yes.
Yeah, like you could either play Blood Bowl in Hungary or go to Italy. And I'm like, I think I'd go to Italy. I want to be honest, I think I'd go to Italy. I like Blood Bowl, but Italy sounds great.
Yes and no. I will almost always take Northern Europe over Southern Europe.
It's probably fair.
Just based on based on the cultures.
Yeah, Denmark was great. I was very, very much impressed with Denmark.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that going on in Hungary. It was super nice. Public transportation was great and efficient. I will tell you, sometimes I'm an idiot. I meant to get new shoes before we left, but I forgot.
Uh-oh.
And
Uh-oh.
I was just
story is taking a strange and interesting turn.
Yeah.
I just figured, whatever. Like, my feet will hurt. It's not a big deal. I wear typically like just like leather loafers, like slip-on loafers, with a decent sole in them. But they were probably over a year old. Like I said, I knew they needed to be replaced. But apparently, I was just walking on hard slabs of leather at that point. I could have just like put wood on my feet and been better off. And I don't exercise or walk a whole lot. So looking at fitness apps and whatnot, I think we walked 4 miles, followed by 7.5, 7.5, 8. There was a lot of walking.
That is a lot of walking.
That's walking. Yeah.
We're walking 8 miles a day.
Wow.
Part of that's because it's good for you. Part of it's because we're cheap. And I'm like, fuck no, it's 30-minute walk or an Uber ride. We're going to walk. So we would just walk to dinner and stuff. And it's a good way. Anytime you're out and about, especially in a foreign country, I love to just walk 30 minutes to dinner. Through the alleyways and you get to see a lot more of the city and the country if you do that.
It's just like a series of hotel rooms and restaurants, and so you don't really get to see the place.
Right.
We also stayed on the I'll call it the outskirts. We were not in downtown Budapest. We were in where like people might actually live. We were not in a tourist area in any way, shape, or form. We stayed next to the venue, which is a huge exposition hall. And by next to, I meant 25-minute walk away. So near enough to walk. But we had to take the metro to get downtown to see all the tourist stuff. So anyway, the place we were living was places we're very familiar with because like that's where we lived when we lived in Paris. Was in the immigrant quarter. So there's tons of good authentic restaurants. Not the super fancy tourist ones. Anyway, so we got to see that part of the city, and that was pretty cool. But after 2 days, my feet were not feeling very good. I was developing a blister the size of my entire hand on my left sole. Life was not
That's
good.
rough.
My wife was like, let's go get some new shoes. And I'm like, no. She's like, yes. I was like, yeah, I don't want to. She was like, we're getting new shoes. Either you're getting new shoes or I'm getting new shoes. I was like, okay. If that's the stipulation, maybe I'm getting new shoes. So we walked to the mall, which unlike America, Europe has bustling malls. And this mall had it all. Went to Foot Locker, and I was like, I'm not paying $150 for this pair of tennis shoes. We walked over to office shoes, and I found some slip-on black Skechers, and it was instantaneous relief. I thought maybe it would get a little better or something. I don't understand this. I could sprint afterwards, and I was like.
It's the S man.
Limping. I was limping my 1.5 mile trek to get to the mall to get shoes, and then I was just skipping on the way back.
Did you get these exact shoes?
No, not those exact ones.
Okay,
there are 1,000 different types of black Skechers, but I got a pair of black Skechers for $75, which I'm still sure is about twice as much as you would pay for them in the States.
Yeah,
which is why I didn't want to get shoes at all. But
I got them on the Black Friday deal last year, and I got 2 pairs of the slip-ons for, I think it was $65.
Yeah. My wife was right, though. I did not believe how instantaneous the benefit would feel. I immediately took my other shoes and I put them in the trash. I'm like, yep, never again. And by never again, I mean not that pair. I might get that same style again. But yeah, so that was interesting. We signed up for a food tour, which is what we have started doing when we travel now. Because they will take you to about 8 different stops, and depending on the food tour, you'll get various types of food. And we did a street food / tipsy tour. So there was beer, there was wine, there were shots, along with stops for all the different types of street food that are known in Hungary. So that's what we did our first night. That was pretty cool.
Food tour sounds awesome, but then I would need a whole day to recover from the food tour. That's the problem. It does sound awesome, though. I would love to be able to try everything, but I don't know how I could do it. But that does sound awesome.
I swear to God, your body's like made of paper mache.
Oh no!
Anything you put inside of it just destroys it.
The bowel. Everything else feels great, works great.
So
that doesn't work. But continue. You had an awesome first night.
So, pop quiz: what is the one food Hungary is, I'm going to say, known for, and that might be a stretch?
Is it sausage?
No, I was gonna say bread.
Although that was our first stop at the street food tour, was a plate of combination blood sausage, liver sausage, and regular sausage.
Mm-hmm.
But there is one ingredient that they put in 90 to 95% of their food.
Is it
curry.
Potatoes? No, not potatoes. It would be bread, right?
It is not potatoes or bread.
Oh, I'm not sure. I thought it was a starch, but go ahead.
It is a spice.
Oh.
I said curry, but I have no fucking idea.
It's not curry.
It is not curry.
You're going to enlighten me. Go ahead.
Paprika.
I should have said it.
And they have like multiple versions of paprika. And so they'll start almost everything with sweet paprika, and then they have different levels of spice. Mm-hmm. So I had goulash on my first night there, because that's a very traditional Eastern European dish. It's just meat and potato stew, or soup, depending who you talk to. But then they'll bring you out 2 to 3 different types of paprika paste for you to season your goulash stew with. So I put in a spoonful. I get one of those tiny little teaspoons full of like level 1, and I didn't taste a thing. Like okay. Mm-hmm. So then I took a tiny teaspoon of the spicier one, and that was a mistake. I should have taken about 1/8 of a teaspoon.
Oh no!
Like, oh, doggy! Yeah, your bowels would not have reacted well with that.
Okay, so it's like the difference between 1 and 2 is 1 in 100. Like it's
basically. I could not believe. Like I had put an entire teaspoon in and barely, didn't taste anything.
Maybe
one teaspoon of the other was
the first one, and then they multiplied.
Something, whatever. So that was some spicy goulash soup. But yeah, so that was night 1. Or maybe 1.5. I forget how it all worked out.
It's funny that you say paprika. If you asked me to describe paprika or to pick it out of a dish, mm-hmm. I do not think it's possible. I know exactly what it looks like, but the taste specifically, like the taste of cinnamon, I can detect in an instant. There's coriander, I can detect in an instant. Thyme, dill, like there's so many of those kind of flavors that I can immediately pick out. But if you asked me what is paprika, I'd be like, a spice. It's like I
didn't know what it was. I had to look it up. It's apparently ground up and dried pepper skin.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen it a million times, but I've put it in things.
Well, I
just
assumed it was always from the same pepper, and it's not. You can have it from all different kinds of peppers. So that's what it is. It's like you had bell pepper, and then they switched to like habanero.
Yeah, they can have.
Oh, okay. This is noticeably different.
It can be sweet paprika, and that's what the bell peppers, or it can be spicy paprika, which just depends on. They can smoke the peppers before that, so they can give a lot of different flavors. But you can go into their central market, which is what we did, and they have an entire store, or multiple stalls, and each stall is selling their own version of paprika, times 1,000. Right? You just buy bags of this type of paprika or that type of paprika. It's like you're like, I didn't know this many types of paprika could exist, but it just depends on how they want to prepare it. Anyway, so that was awesome. I forget what we did our second day. Took it easy, went downtown, saw some stuff, and then came back and had some Blood Bowl opening ceremonies, and then my wife left.
This is because this is the World Championship, right?
This is called Euro Bowl. It is a team event. It happens once a year, and each team is allowed to send. Each country is allowed to send one team. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what it is.
Best and brightest from each country shows up.
Correct.
Got it.
Brandon? Would you say that this is the more competitive of the two big ones? Because they alternate, right? It's like every 4 years there's like the Olympic one.
Correct. Yes. The World Cup, which happens every 4 years, is not as competitive as Euro Bowl because the World Cup is open registration. Yeah. Until they meet
so you could say
X.
10 teams.
Yeah, the U.S. might have... or you don't even have to be a U.S. team, right? You submit any team of 4 or 6, or whatever the teams are for World Cup. It doesn't matter. Euro Bowl is, I would say, the creme de la creme of competitive Blood Bowl. So this is my second year on Team USA. We took second last year in a surprise upstart performance. Team USA before that had been like high 20s. So the coach put together a lot of different players, kind of mixed up who was on the team, and we took second. So both expectations and aspirations were high heading into the event last weekend.
Were you a part of the second place team?
I was, yep.
Okay, excellent. Okay, continue.
I ended up playing Chaos Chosen, for anyone who knows Blood Bowl. I was the 8th person of our 8th-man team to select a roster. So I was kind of playing the wild card, if you will. Roll the dice and see what happens. Add a lot of variability into the roster. It was either going to win or lose. Like, I wasn't going to have a lot of middling games. I was either going to demolish people or get demolished. Go ahead.
I would love to know, how did you know that? Like, how did you know that when you were list building that was going to happen? I know enough about Blood Bowl to hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did you know that?
So in this particular rule set, this was a reduced resource rule set compared to previous ones. So every team didn't get as much as they wanted, either in the types of skill players that they had or the numbers of players that they had. So I ended up playing a roster that had only 11 players, which is the minimum.
Ooh.
But I had a Minotaur with block and claws get to take people with high armor and just shred them. So if I'm playing against a high armor team,
block and claws. Wow.
I was highly invested in my Minotaur.
I see.
So if I get decently lucky, needing to roll an 8 or higher, I automatically break his armor, regardless of what it is normally, and then I get a mighty blow of the injury, and so I can just go on a tear. And if my opponent doesn't have as many players as they normally would, and I'm opening them up and putting them on the casualty bench because of the skills I've given them, things can start to go downhill for my opponent pretty quickly. On the other hand, I just said I only have 11 players, so the exact opposite could happen to me too. You would contrast this by playing a very stable roster like Orcs. Orcs are not very mobile. They're not going to score a lot of touchdowns, but they can generally take it on the chin very well. So Orcs are, I would say, probably the best team at drawing in the format. If you just want a stable team that can anchor your list, you take Orcs.
Yeah, they can hold their own against pretty much everybody, but they're also not going to blow people out.
And you'll have games where you might win or lose, but like I said, you have relative stability. Orcs are extremely stable. The team I chose was very not. Yeah. I was all in on
Carnage.
Just rolling dice and going for it. Yep.
In my opinion, I think the fightier teams are more random than the other teams anyway, because you'll just get the games where you just can't quite beat armor. Like, you get a lot of matches instead of a lot of breaks, and that just goes badly, obviously.
Yeah, if I didn't have claws, then I would say I didn't have a whole lot of chance of doing a lot of damage. But it really was all centered on that Mino.
So, give me a highlight. Did it ever go off? Did you ever get to break a bunch of armor, put a bunch of guys on the bench, and walk the ball in?
The answer is no.
Oh, it didn't happen.
Not once in 6 games. Felt pretty bad.
I was gonna say that's a lot. Did your Mino ever get set down? Did they just find ways to, sit him over to the side? Like, how to sit?
In game 4, I played against Chaos Renegades, who have 3 big guys, including a star player who specializes in fouling. They received the ball and immediately removed 2 of my models before I got a chance to do anything.
Yee.
But they left their 260,000 gold piece star player exposed to do it. So it gave me the perfect opportunity to blitz him with my Mino, take his armor 10, break it with claws, remove him from the game, turn everything around, and I rolled a 7.
Womp, womp, womp,
I ended that game with 3 players on the pitch.
Dude.
I just got ruffle stomped. I felt okay about that, though, right? Like, you're going to have a game or two like that. That was fine. What really, really upset me was, for instance, I played against Skaven, kicked to them, and I stopped them from scoring. That is no small feat, right? Skaven have Move Knight Gutter Runners. They've got everything. I'm playing a max movement 6 bash team. The fact that I stopped them from scoring, especially at the level of Blood Bowl that we're playing, right? Was pretty damn good. They kick to me. I form a cage around the ball, just in case I, don't pick it up. I bash all of his Skaven down. Last action, move my guy into the middle of the cage to pick the ball up. He fails to pick it up. I reroll, fail to pick it up. Bounces to my other guy, fails to pick it up. Bounces to another guy, fails to pick it up. Bounces away.
Oh my gosh!
And now he's
Outside
just
the
like,
cage.
oh, what if I just ran in with my gutter runner, picked it up on a 3, and ran to where I have my cage now. So he ends up scoring on my drive. I end up forcing a quick score, and I take the ball back, or he kicks back to me, and I march it down and score. So I ended up with a 1-1 tie in a game that absolutely should have been a 2-0 win. Like, I played that to a 2-0 win, or at least I should have been a 1-0 win to me. Right? I stopped them, and then I just drive down over 8 turns. But because I can't roll a 3 followed by a 3 followed by a 4 followed by a 4, just fail them all, and the ball just happened to squirt out at the wrong spot, my opponent is able to capitalize on. I don't even want to think it's a mistake, right?
Right.
So so I can take getting pitch cleared by Chaos Renegades in an unstatistical fashion way more than I can take this played extremely well and still only end up with a draw.
Those are the games that are just soul crushing. Those are the games that make you want to quit. Like,
you're not
it's
wrong.
Like, I did so well.
Was not happy.
Did you look up the odds on your failed pickup?
No, just don't. No.
You don't want me to tell you? Okay.
Never tell me
Well,
the odds.
it's 1 in 9 times half of that, so 1 in 18 ish.
Basically it's 2.7%.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I did have one really super solid game against Elbin Union. I stopped them from scoring and then just marched the ball down. I didn't get 1,000 removals, but I got a couple, enough to make it pretty easy. And then I lost 3 games because I played against vampires twice, and I lost both those games. Just fine because I'm disadvantaged, especially if they kick to me first. Like, I need to start removing some of their models before they get to do all of their vampire bullshit and just hypnogaze 4 people and then blitz me with a strip ball vampire, and then the 6th vampire just runs and picks it up.
Yeah.
Which, newsflash, is what happened. There's probably 10% of play I could have done better to help make the dice that they needed to roll harder. But it was not bad play on my part. It's just vampires. If vampires' dice work, they will win no matter what. And my vampire opponents, their dice just worked. One of them had 6 vampires and did not roll a 1 for Bloodlust until turn 7 of the first half. That was 35-ish rolls before they rolled a single one.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I was gonna
do
say,
not.
like,
go ahead.
I think the traditional logic would be like, take out all their thralls, and then every time they fail their blood frenzy, then it's just like they're completely screwed.
Yep.
But there's really nothing you can do if they're just not going to fail the roll, and then you basically did nothing because you killed all their worthless people.
I could. Picking up the ball was my Achilles heel all tournament. So vampires turned me over, kicked to me, and I'm like, okay, I have 4 turns, I need to score. So I set up kind of aggressively. I still put people around the ball. I failed to pick up in this game again, and the vampires were like, oh, what's that? Like 3 people? How about gaze my ball? Yep. So they went into the half 2-0.
What is the gaze dice? Like, how do you? Is it just a?
They need a
D6?
2-up, or sometimes a 3-up to gaze and make my people lose like everything for the turn.
A 2-up usually. Oh. Is that the way it's always been? I don't remember them being that busted.
It's like an agility test, and so they target your guy, they make the agility test, if they succeed, you just close your eyes, basically.
Yep.
And you just stand there and do nothing.
I remember that from back when I played, this is years ago with the old school.
I think it's the same. I think it's the same.
That's the same? Okay. Maybe I just never saw anybody try that, and I didn't care to play them, so, okay. That seems really good.
I think the difference now is they've clarified that you also lose skills when you lose your tackle zones.
Yep,
which
you
makes
lose all
it
your
way
skills.
Worse. So you lose like tackle, you lose everything. Like you
lose
have
block.
no skills while you don't have tackle.
Yeah, block and dodge as a ball carrier. Now you don't. Now you just go down.
Which is ridiculous, right? It's like the fact that I could target you with an ability and you lose all skills. It's just like, what? Like, I had stand firm. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
I'm okay with it existing. It just needs to be harder to pull off. Like they should. Oops. They're going to come out with 3rd edition here in a minute anyway, and so I don't want to go too far in the rabbit hole on how to fix vampires. But And vampires can just implode, right? If they start eating all of their own players, they roll a bunch of ones, and nothing they can do is going to solve that.
It's a lot like the typical orkiness that you see in the silly factions, where their rules are insane because of how powerful the upside is, but there's a downside that balances it. But normally in the orc stuff, you see that it is much heavier on the downhill stuff, and then you get to vampires, it's like, so they're basically amazing unless you fail 2+, and it's like, well, and then even when you fail the 2+, you usually have enough extra guys that's not that big of a deal. It's only if you fail a lot of 2+ that becomes relevant. So they're just too consistent.
Yep. So anyway, my overall record was 1 win, 2 draws, and 3 losses, which is below what I have done in the past, below my hopes, and it really just stuck in the craw because of how they happened. Right, 2 vampire losses, and then the 1 shellacking, and both of my draws, in fact, were advantaged to me. I was out of scoring range by 1 square in my first game, and I made a conscious choice to take my person who could have scored and bring him back to protect my ball carrier from being sacked and turned over, because it was the first round, and I didn't know how the other games were going, and I wanted to ensure a draw, and that did that better. That kind of makes sense. And then we talked about a escaping game that could have been a win, should have been a win, but was not. So it was just frustrating because I don't think the results accurately reflected the skill I was putting into the games. That kind of made sense. So
yeah.
So that was frustrating. After day 1, we were at 4th place as a team, which was very good. Then we ended up going 1-2 the next day, and we dropped down to 10th at the end, which is nothing to be ashamed about. 10th out of 29. Top 3rd, but we definitely wanted to be contending for the championship as opposed to what we're doing.
Yeah,
which is in this tournament anyway was definitely like 2nd tier.
Yeah, it's tough break, and obviously in Blood Bowl things can happen sometimes, and they're out of your control.
I was gonna say in this game, Blood Bowl, I would put about as much stock in this as I do like the actual NFL, in that every team that makes it to the playoffs is, in my opinion, equally likely to get there, because it's so much of it comes down to moments of luck that are, thousands of individual moments of luck, right? It's really anybody's game at any moment. And so you
say that, but it's still the same people, the same teams at the top every time.
Is it? Because you said last year it wasn't, right? Like USA was there last year. Is that so rare, or is that
I would say with the team that we have right now, we should be somewhere around 4 to 10 is probably the accurate representation of what the U.S. strength is. So I think we overperformed last year and we underperformed a little bit this year. But there are teams like France and Spain. They finished tied for first with Wales, and then France took it based off of tie breaks. France won it last year. But when you have really good players, one of them might have a bad game. You're right. There's going to be RNG that's just going to sink something. But if you have 8 people in a team game, if your overall skill level is, slightly better than your opponents, you're going to have multiple instances of bad RNG to let your team lose that game against them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So overall, over 8 games, RNG should even out. And even if it doesn't, I don't know. There are constantly the same coaches and the same teams in the top half of the field. Let's put it that way.
So I think what you're saying is that there's a range in which you can slip in. That's probably a handful of positions. But the teams that generally place in the top 3 are not going to suddenly show up in 20th. That's not going to happen, right? But you will see some movement. Anything
could happen, but generally, yes. Yes, that is what I'm saying. While understanding there's a caveat that it's a game and it's dice and who knows. But yes, it would have been shocking if France had finished anywhere below probably 5th, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're getting 8 players times 6 rounds. You're seeing 48 games. You see a pretty good curve in that.
Yeah, but I hear you. What you're saying, but at the same time, I'm like, what are they doing in France to get better at Blood Bowl? I get that there are lots of things you can do to increase your odds of Blood Bowl, but a dynasty that you're discussing, like this is like some sort of dynasty team that should always be expected to perform at this level for this many years, it seems really odd. Like it just seems like what are they doing that no one else is trying? Because
they're just playing a shit ton of games. So the number one rated person, the number one rated person in the U.S. or in the world is actually on our team. He just went through a 64 game unbeaten streak. And so if this was all RNG based, there's no way you win or tie 64 straight games. Mm-hmm. If RNG is a huge determinant in your games. And he's not playing against like his kids in the basement, right? He's playing against other top tier coaches.
Right.
Yep.
So there's just so many positioning decisions and risk mitigation decisions that you need the experience with against a myriad of teams to be at that level. I am not willing. I admit I probably gave up 1 point. So a win is 2, a tie is 1, a loss is 0. I ended up with 4 points on the day. I think I probably could have hit 5. Like I probably could have turned one of those losses into a tie or one of those ties into a win, with more experience and more prep. But I don't want to spend 160 hours a week doing nothing but playing Blood Bowl. 500 games a year. I have other hobbies. I have other interests. And so I'm not willing to commit that much time. But there are people who are.
Wow. Okay.
And
that
Europe
answers
is
my
very,
question.
very much in love with their Blood Bowl. Way more than the US is. As a whole.
Yeah, like in my opinion, the number one determining factor of people who do well in events over the long period is games played like per day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, you have to have a high level of base skill and aptitude for the game. Like, that's clearly important. But of the people that play a high amount of games, there's a large percentage of them have that natural, like, skill or aptitude towards the game itself. So then you're magnifying that with the experience level of infinite repetitions. And so you just see more little things that you might have missed by not playing as many games. And so, like, the people that were winning, like, the War Machine Invitational, they were playing silly numbers of games, but also it's all against high skill level opponents. It's like they're playing the same people at conventions and stuff. Like, yep. I want to say Tom Wan and JVM went to like every qualifier basically for an entire year. They played like 23 qualifying events in a season one time. It's just like, so they're always playing the highest level of competition, so they're getting the best experience. Versus the people who never travel and then go to said invitational, and you're playing that level of competition maybe a handful of times throughout the year, and then you're playing it 5 games back to back. It's like, it's just not, and you don't have the same level of experience that those people have.
Yeah, so as an example, I go back to like my Skaven game where it just plopped out of the cage after bouncing off 3 people. And I think I did everything right, but should I have established more of an in-depth screen, just knowing there was the possibility that I could, fail four times to pick it up? Maybe that was the correct answer, was to, instead of, basing his Skaven with my Bash team, which was the more aggressive going up on players maneuver, maybe I needed to not only cage around the ball to, protect it in case I fail to pick up, but also screen the cage so that if it does pop out of the cage, the ball is still somewhat protected. So these are all the questions. Go ahead.
Sorry. Is there ever a time you don't pick up the ball and you just cage it?
No, I don't think so.
Because I know against Vamps that doesn't work, but I figure against Skaven it might at least make it hard enough that they can't.
Because if he can blitz one corner of the cage off, now there's a free ball there.
Well, it's still got 3 guys on it, right?
He'll gut a runner on a 5 with a reroll 50%. He'll take that every chance he gets.
Versus like basically bouncing it outside by accident. I know it's incredibly low chance.
Sure. But... Maybe you're right. And these are the the experiences and the questions that I would be able to answer if I put hundreds and hundreds of games of Blood Bowl. And I already go to 11 tournaments. I probably play about 60 games a year of tournament Blood Bowl. Well, I have to take it back, not of tournament Blood Bowl anymore. But combined with everything, it's probably 60 games.
Yeah.
If I had 500, I would be able to tell you whether I made the correct call and just got screwed by dice, or if there was a better call to be made. So I'm leaving that much on the table, whatever 1% that is. And so if the U.S. wants to get better, they'll replace the bottom 4 or 5 people who are like me with people who are absolute, playing 1,000 games. And there might not even be those people in the U.S. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Our top 2 coaches were like legit world class. 3 through 5 kind of depends. They weren't on the same level as 1 and 2, but they're good. I've beat them before. They beat me. And then you've got like the last 4 or 5 who did not have winning records. They were tied, or losses. And some of them do play more than I do. Maybe some play less. I don't know. But we as a group, like the bottom 5 or so of the U.S. team, were not on the same level as the top 2, who were just like they were dominating their competition because it's a seeded Swiss. So our top player was playing the other team's top player. That kind of makes sense.
That was my next question. Is you said you got put into Vamps twice, and you didn't know. After the first time, you're like, man, this is not actually a pretty good matchup. Could you have picked a different one? But apparently you can. No. So you're just going by seed.
Yeah. No, after the second round of my Vamp game, I was like, wait, I'm on like seat 7. I should not be playing Vamps. What are you doing down here? The guy was like, I played the Vamp mirror round 1. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I moved between seats 4 and 7 throughout the event, like in the US.
So
team.
The rating is based on how you're doing in the individual event, not
Correct.
How you've done up to the event.
Correct. The first round's random. Everything else is your place in the team.
Gotcha.
So anyway, that was a tournament, and then I had a day. So this was an interesting travel decision. To fly back on Monday would have cost me $400 more than flying back on Tuesday. The hotel was $80 a day. So I said, fuck it, I'll take another day in Budapest.
Yep.
So I stayed I stayed on Monday. I'd already seen everything that I wanted to see. To be honest, I'm kind of done with, look at that, another old building. Yes, it's pretty, just like the other old buildings. So I turned on Netflix. Whoever was logged into that TV last stayed logged in. So I changed all their shit to English. And then I double-fisted Donner to-go boxes while binge-watching an entire season of Dexter.
He got his Donner. All right.
Oh, yeah. 4 times. 4 times did I have Donners.
Oh, look at you. I love that. I love that. You got to do that. That is fantastic.
Are you rewatching Dexter or first
nope,
time?
First time.
Ooh, so did you just watch the first season?
I probably didn't get through the first season because at 1 a.m. Netflix got smart and they're like, I don't think you're part of this TV household. I'm like, fuck. I'm not. Me. I guess I'll get 3 hours of sleep for my flight.
The first season of Dexter's pretty good.
I don't love it, but I don't dislike it either. I'm going to continue to watch it.
The first, obviously there's always the getting used to the characters, like the first 3 or 4 episodes, you're just still understanding who everybody is. But I think the end of season 1 is really strong.
Okay.
And then season 2 is also very good. Season 3, I think, is a little bit of a down, but the season 4 is amazing. It's probably the best season of the whole show.
There's like 8 seasons, right?
There are 8. The original writer leaves after the 4th season, and a lot of people consider it the best season.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say the show takes noticeable downturn after that. They're not wrong, but I think half of the remaining 4 seasons are as good as season 3, and then the other 2 seasons are not very good.
Okay.
Aaron, I can tell you I stopped at 5 because I went, this is not worth my time anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was not appreciating the story enough.
Okay. Well, I will at least get to 4.
Yeah.
Good.
4 was superb. I actually, the first 4 seasons were all strong. I didn't miss it. I didn't miss season 3. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah. I didn't begrudge season 3. I didn't feel like it was weak.
Yeah, I think season 5 is actually pretty good. It just struggles with knowing where the show is going to go now. Because obviously it's a whole new landscape. They don't know what they're doing. And so there's a lot of do we keep the old structure? Do we change to a new structure? Do we rewrite everything? And so they're kind of feeling it out through season 5.
How many episodes per season are there?
12-ish.
Well, then I'm damn near. I'm on 11, I think.
Yeah, you're probably pretty close.
Okay. I figured it was one of the smaller ones. I didn't think it was one of the 22s. So yeah, I don't love the character development so far. It seems lackluster.
For the main character or just in general?
I'll say in general. I think the main character is doing fine in terms of that development.
yeah, you won't see really any character development in the first season. That all comes in season 2, and then a little bit more on.
And there's a couple logic problems I have without spoiling it for anyone, like the antagonist in season 1 and how that's dripped, and some of the choices that they've made up to now. Just like it doesn't make any sense to me.
We'll definitely finish the season before you tell me, but I'm curious if it could solve, like, fixes all of your problems by the end.
It's not bad. Like, I'm not upset. Yeah. I'm just like, there are some reasons why I'm not like, oh my god, I didn't, turn it on today to, finish the season.
Okay.
Solid, like a B. That's what I give it right now. But anyway.
All right. So, moving on. Parker, did you have fun in D&D?
Oh, I had a blast at D&D.
Even counting all the time you were asleep.
I think I only had about 20 minutes ish. I did
a little over an hour.
I did not go over an hour.
You were 100% asleep for an entire hour.
I did not do a whole hour. I did fall out, but I came back up and I didn't fall back down. I was.
You did wake back up eventually.
Yeah, I popped back up. I really enjoyed it, and the conclusion of the reveal of the big worm thing was awesome. I'm still impressed by as shit by the model. I think that they look so freaking cool, and I am really excited. I did get permission to play again, even though it's right before our big remodel. So
that was my next question: is did you put your foot down and say, "I'm playing D&D like a grown man"?
It was like I mentioned to you earlier. She just didn't want me to go, not because it was actually going to prevent us from preparing, but because she has anxiety about the preparation, and so she just wanted me to feel anxious with her. And I'm just like, I don't need to be here to feel anxious with you the day before we get ready for this. That's unnecessary. And she was like, yeah, I guess you're right. So it wasn't a hard sell, but it was. I am really excited. I appreciate your flexibility to let us come back and actually beat up the big monster. I have played now. Gosh, I thought about it. Like, we've been playing now this game for it's 2-ish years. It's got to be close, right?
So technically yes, but I think we've only had 20 game sessions.
Maybe. I don't know how many.
Yeah. But we took a 6-month break, and we've usually been playing every other week, so that kind of equates to 20 games.
Also, around football season, it gets slower and harder, but
it gets a little bit dicier.
Yeah, but but we haven't actually found the big monster at the end of a dungeon in a Dungeons and Dragons game yet. We haven't seen that yet. We've done lots of bosses of smaller encounters, or not even smaller encounters, but just different kinds, right? Where the terrain was not a dungeon with a guy at the end over the pile of gold, right? Big looming monster, behind him is the treasure, right? And so I'm really excited for this, especially because about 45 minutes into the game session, I said out loud, we have been going through this dungeon for 4 or 5 fucking hours, beating up on rock monsters. I have not seen a treasure one.
not a single piece of gold.
Not a single indicator that this is worth a shit. We're just going through an old guard station that's just been emptied from everything. No monster drops a thing. We found a bunch of shitty weapons and arrows or crossbow bolts. This has been so lame. And I love the big reveal there at the end. That was great. So I am very pumped for this fight. I think it'll be a ton of fun.
Cool. All right. Let's see what we got next.
I actually have a D&D related thing though. This is actually cross related because I'm also watching a new television show, and I don't know if I mentioned this. So I'm watching Castlevania Nocturne, and the fact that you haven't finished all the Castlevania series is not necessarily sad, but it is to me quite remarkable how much what I picture the D&D world you've created is like the world in Castlevania. Like rich with magic and fantasy and just dark. Just so helpless and hapless. They're absolutely people, but they're all just fodder for monsters. And that the kind of the permeating feeling of despair amongst like every side character that you meet, and then everybody's just kind of negative, and everybody is just kind of presumes despair and terror all the time, except for the main characters, which are not immune to it, but they, the reason why they're different is because they're saying no, we're putting our foot down and doing something about this
Yeah.
world. But when I watch Castlevania, either the OG series and now Nocturne, I think about your game a lot, and it makes me excited to play because these characters in the show are kind of taking on the role that we're taking on in your game, and so I just didn't know if you, I know you haven't seen Castlevania for a while, but I'll be excited if and when you get around to it to see if you feel like there are parallels between that world and your world.
There's not specific ones.
Right. I don't think you were
there.
I don't think you were drawing from it. I just the
Yeah.
creative
Well,
that
I
was
know I'm
behind
not.
that is also.
I actually just looked it up. Guess when I made the first maps for this world? This is after I've written a bunch of stuff. I went in and made maps after that. When do you think I made the maps?
2011. I'm just gonna pick a really old number.
You're not far out. 2016.
Wow. Okay. That's still really a long time ago. I
Yeah,
went way.
so that means this world has existed for a decade, and so
Yeah.
we're just still playing in it. Yeah, I actually don't like dark fantasy that much. I think it is kind of shallow on its face, and that there's not a lot to do. But then from a writing perspective, I wanted to do something that didn't have a huge amount of options because I wanted to be able to better predict what you guys would do and give you more like targeted options. But that being said, you can still kind of do whatever you want within reason. And so seeing how you guys approach problems is helping me get better at running games at the same time.
And what I say, and one of the reasons why I think there's more parallels, is it's not the world of Castlevania, at least the one they put in. They specifically decided to make the vampires not just monsters or hyper hunters. They're socialites sometimes. Like sometimes they're pro society, sometimes they're anti society, sometimes they're scientific minds, and sometimes they're monstrous minds. Sometimes they're conniving, and sometimes they're ingenious. Like there's a wide variety. There's as many different kinds of vampires interacting with human society as there are vampire society. There's even you haven't got there, but in the original series, there's a whole subplot about one of the main human characters, like discovering vampire philosophy. Like, because if there is a sub race of humanoids who very much walk and talk and think, they're gonna come up with culture eventually, right? So and so they kind of explore this concept for a while in very esoteric terms, which is something I know that you like to explore in your games, right? Like you like to put in that kind of stuff to imagine, yeah, this is a dark fantasy setting, but these aren't just mindless creatures swinging at everything that moves, right? So what would actually happen? I know you like wrapping your head around that, so it's cool.
Yeah. Now for this, I think it's kind of like Tolkien-esque, where it's like everything is based off of one founding script, and it's just modifications on that. I'm pretty sure all of the Castlevania and a lot of dark fantasy is based on the Ravenloft series, which was a D&D setting back in the day that was very dark and grim. Is centered around vampires, and that I think came out in the late 80s. And so I think pretty much all of this stuff is based on that.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, so like one of the more popular D&D modules is the Curse of Strahd, which is just pure Ravenloft, like it's right down the main street, and that is very much exactly what Castlevania is. It's like big scary floaty castle, like evil vampire overlord that controls everything, and like you can't do anything to him, he's invincible, and then like slowly finding out there is a way to kill him, and it's like that whole thing. And it's obviously still based on the original Dracula's, but it's just like more developed than a little 100-page novel.
Yeah, and that's like straight up. That's a straight up. You just described Castlevania in a nutshell. Like that's
exactly,
or rather, that's the main plot. But the nice thing about the show is that they're
right.
That they care more about than it's just walk towards bad guy. Walk up the mountain towards bad guy.
Right. Yeah, like there's more to it. Like Dracula in the show isn't a bad guy. He has been tamed by his emotional empathy towards this human, and then over time, then, she obviously gets killed. He goes on a rampage. But then even then, he kind of still chills out a little bit towards the end. It's like, then he's just depressed, and then they go and try and kill him.
Oh, yeah, they absolutely, they talk about it multiple times. It's like the reason why Dracula is doing this is he's functionally just committing murder-suicide, right? He's like, I'm doing this, I'm going to die now. There's no point in living, so there's no point in anyone living, right?
Yeah,
it's great.
So there was a segue here. Hold on. So that's why I like the old world so much, is because I think they do a good job of bringing that into a world that isn't just that. It's a small area of the world. And so as soon as you get outside of the borders of their country or the area they occupy, it pretty much turns back into medieval fantasy, which is great because you have like the Tolkien stuff and the Ravenloft stuff and like, orcs and goblins on top of that. And then you've got, chaos, which is a whole nother thing. And it's all just piled into one space. And it's just a great amalgamation of all those different settings. And that's why I like that. And so you've decided to play Lizard Mans, huh?
You know me. I'm actually
like lizards.
I'm actually having a really hard time right now committing to like 3 or 4 different games. Like there's so many TCGs. There's like 2 TCGs and 2 minis games that aren't the other game that I'm really enjoying playing, which is Judgment. So like I feel like the bell at the ball, right? Everybody wants to dance, and I am frozen right now in indecision, trying to commit to any one of these things, because I have learned that if I don't commit to one thing, I end up committing to too many, and it becomes a financial issue. Actually, like all of a sudden, I turn around and I go, "Whoops! I've spent thousands of dollars on trying to play 4 games at once, and I actually can't do that. Like I don't have the time to do it."
Yeah.
Because
I think it's always best to follow Ron Swanson's advice.
Yeah, don't half-ass. Just
don't half-ass 2 things.
Yeah,
whole-ass one
thing. And the only thing, honestly, the main thing is preventing me from doing Old World is nothing to do with the world. I love the world, or the minis. I love the minis, so many of them, and now there's so many second-party minis that are even better.
Yeah.
The only thing that's making me struggle with Old World is every time I've ever put a GW army on the board and played with it, I've left that 2.5 hours going, okay. Like I've never,
or actively wanting to hurl your army into traffic.
The best case scenario is I went, okay, that happened. But the worst case scenario is
I'm not actively upset that I played this, but man, I really didn't enjoy it.
But sometime I have left the field going, wow, I have less faith in humanity. Like this is. It's possible,
man.
To really
that is 100% a 40K like origin story that most people have. It's like I remember my first game and the war criminal sociopath I found to play with. It's like either that or just like the most unsociable person in the entire world. It's just like they met you and they were just like didn't know how to do anything. I feel like this is a safe space. I feel like I can tell this story.
Yeah.
I have a story for you, Parker. This is legitimately
really?
Something that happened at the store this year.
Oh, okay.
Awkward person comes to the store. Low social skills. That's not the problem. It's just like a factor that you have to take into consideration.
Okay.
Poor social skills person walks in the store. They're wearing a Chiefs jersey. So immediately I'm like, this guy can basically do no wrong. And then he turns around and I realize he's wearing a Raiders hat. And I went, this guy has done all of the wrong. There is no in between. The guy has gone from 0 to 10 million instantly. Like, I just went, why are you wearing a Raiders hat and a Chiefs jersey at the same time? And he's like, well, I really like the Chiefs. And then you just stopped talking. And I went, and? Like, what's the reason? That's not a reason. He's like, oh, I just like black and silver as colors. And I just like, all right, so you're the worst human. Like, I can't think of a person. There's no person worse than you. So then his opponent shows up to play a game of 40K with him. This is his first game of 10th. So it's going to be a learner game. Like, so it's going to be slow. While he's playing the game, he just, like, part of the social interaction things, he doesn't understand, like, social cues very well. So his opponent will basically say something that's a leading question, like a leading statement that's meant to be a question, but it's not actually a question. So it's like, so your guys have armor saves. And then he stops talking. The guy just stares back at him because it wasn't a question.
Yeah.
And so it took them a while to get past that. But anyway, once they start getting some momentum going, as they're starting to build a rapport, the person starts opening up to the guy who's regular at the store. And he's like, oh, by the way, Do you like gambling? I love gambling. It's like, that's an odd segue for armor saves, but sure, I like gambling, I guess. I don't really gamble, though. And he's like, oh yeah, I love gambling. I gamble as much as I can, but I can't go to Harrah's anymore. Harrah's is a casino in town.
Yeah.
They threw me out. I'm now banned from Harrah's. And he's like, that's odd. He goes, yeah, apparently I was making all of the females that work there uncomfortable.
Oh, jeez.
And then just left it there. And then I was like,
no.
I play a game with a serial killer. Like, this is not good.
Oh.
And so we have serial killer vibes plus Raiders and Chiefs gear on at the same time. And he's playing Imperial Guard, or Astra Militarum now. And then he starts talking about how his tanks are Russian tanks, and that's why he likes them. Not because they're tanks, but specifically because they are Russian-inspired tanks. And we're like, bro, you need to stop.
This guy, why is he still digging? He's found gold.
He hit gold. Like,
why? You struck oil, man. You don't need to
God damn.
Why you just keep laying it on?
It easy. Pick one lane to be the worst human at. Like, you can't do 3 at once. You're going to dilute the other 2.
He's clearly a poorly social, like, terrible sportsman with misogynistic tendencies, at least. And
that is a Stalinist,
yes. Yeah, and also perhaps a Russian apologist. We don't know. Like,
yeah.
Oh shit.
It was crazy. So basically, every time the person that's playing him is just like, is this real life?
Yeah.
Like, is this really happening?
That's exactly
and every
what I'm
time
thinking.
I'll just like, I'm standing behind his opponent. I'll just like fold my arms and stare at him from across the room, and eventually he'll find my eyes and try not to laugh. Like, he doesn't know what to do. He's like trapped in this 4.5 hour long atrocity of a game where his opponent tries to convince him to become a socialist. I don't know what's going on. It's great.
That'd be nice if that's all they're trying to do.
So that was my example of like, that's the other 40k game you get. Not when the guy's just rule sharking a new player like Parker does.
Yeah.
It's just when he's a complete crazy person. Oh man, it was amazing.
I am so scared. Sarah really wants to try a Lorcana game with the Geekery, and I know why. Like, she wants to really badly. I get it. There's so many parts about going to a community that's so fantastic. But I am so scared of her finding one of them. Like, I'm so scared.
I mean, it wouldn't be a 0 chance, but from what I know about our Lorcana community, all of the weirdos and creeps and psychos have quit because the game is no longer, like, in vogue. And so it's like the same 5 or 6, like, Disney parents that just, like, hang out. So coming on Fridays, I don't think would be the apocalypse. It would just be interesting.
It wouldn't stop her from playing Lorcana. It would just ruin her from ever coming back, and I just don't want that to happen. I want her to have a positive feeling. Yeah,
I would not come in on like a big tournament like release weekend or anything. I would just come in on Friday Night League.
Okay, that's good to know.
All right. So let's move into the Mojos. All right, this week on Mojoverse we have fictional cars. Just to clarify, these don't have to be fake cars. It's just cars that were made popular through fiction. Okay. Aaron, being the fresh back from Travel Boy, you are first.
Oh, I don't want to be first. I defer.
Oh, okay. I will put you last.
What an interesting call. Look at this guy. The balls on this guy. Just
I understand that this is a trap, and I am not appreciative of it.
I'm going to say I hope he's got more than 3, but that's not Aaron's style. He's just.
Oh, I've got exactly 3, but none of you are going to take them.
See, that's the thing he says.
Literally impossible.
Every fucking time he says this, and then I just immediately say apricot, and he goes, "God damn it!" So we'll see. Let's see how this goes.
All right, Parker, you're up.
I'm gonna go with Mad Max's Interceptor.
V8 Interceptor. I'm going to put the source in here.
Sure.
I don't know how many of these will be obvious, and not everyone knows the weird names for them.
Yeah.
Or some of them won't have, like, specific names, because just, like, the Bronco from this movie. Or whatever. Anyway. All right. Good pick. That was on my list. Probably wasn't going to get picked, though, but it is a great car.
I'm going to go. It was one of my very first cars, just like that car. Like, I remember being a kid loving that car.
All right, I'm going to go with the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
That was on my original list, but it fell off after I got to 11 cars.
I'm terrified of what you're going to pick now, because there's not 10 cars better than the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
DeLorean is great. Like, it was on my list, but there were just
infinitely
cars.
iconic is the big
Yeah.
thing. If you see
Yeah.
a DeLorean, even without the parts on it,
Right.
it's the time machine.
Yeah.
Like, there is no other DeLorean.
Yeah, I get it. And I absolutely had a DeLorean toy, and I played with the shit out of
Mhm.
that thing. Like, it was a big...
Yeah.
I realized after making my list that as soon as I got to, like, 15 cars and I started to dwindle it down, I was like, I was kind of a car nut when I was a kid. Like, I never stopped being a car nut.
And most people don't know this, but much like the movie Back to the Future, the DeLorean was 100% inspired by cocaine. All right, Aaron, you're up.
We're going to take Ecto 1.
That you should not have gone last. That was a horrible decision.
Wow.
There's a lot of things on this list that are in that range. That was like number 2 on my list.
Ecto 1, really? Okay, cool.
Parker,
You
have
take your
terrible taste in
derision
cars.
and go shove it up your fucking bumhole.
Sorry,
I don't-
Parker, who won
I
the
don't get it.
Cars one? Who won the Cars one? Was that me? I think
was
it
you.
was me.
I'm not
Okay,
saying
just
I'm not
making
saying
sure.
you guys. I'm not saying it won't win. That's one. I
You
mean,
literally
it's,
are disparaging Aaron's taste in cars.
It's absolutely the butter of cars. Like, I get it. It tastes great, but it's bad for you. I
Well,
don't
butter
think
is my favorite food group. So
I know.
Fuck you.
I'm just saying. I get why you pick it, but it's not.
For someone who eats my cooking, you sure hate butter a lot.
Your cooking is fantastic. I'm not going to even disparage
All right.
it. I'm not even going to attempt it.
Aaron, your second pick.
My second pick, which is actually my first pick, is the Lovebug.
That was also on my list. You were cutting this way too close.
I'm taking the fucking DeLorean.
It's
I don't
actually Herby that was in the Lovebug.
You are correct.
Because I watched that movie so many fucking times as a child. Like a scary number of times. Okay. So I'm going to... I know there's no chance that Parker's going to take this one. Okay, so I'm going to go with the Trans Am from Smokey and the Bandit. All right, Parker. Final two picks.
I'm going to go with one. These are all like straight out of my childhood, and so I have to go with the Mach 5. I have to do that. And this last one, I have so many choices. I'm going to go with Tim Burton's Batmobile.
That's 89, right?
Yeah, sounds right.
It is the best Batmobile.
Yeah, it's amazing. I had so many versions of that. Like, so many different sizes of that car.
Yeah, I had the one that the sides came off and it turned into the train from Returns. Yeah. Okay. My final pick, I'm going to go with Baby from Supernatural.
Okay.
And anybody who hasn't seen Supernatural won't get it. It's just a weird car, but no, it's a very important car. All right, that got all of the top of my list. So, Aaron, final pick, sir. You are muted. Just heads up.
The Flintmobile.
Like the Fred Flintstones?
Yeah.
Yep, from Flintstones.
Ugh. Can we? Yeah.
It is iconic.
It's more of a bulldozer, isn't it? Is it really a car? Would you call that a car?
It is a car. Yeah,
Okay.
It's got 2 wheels.
It's got 4 wheels. Oh, I guess it's got 2 wheels.
It's got
2 wheels.
2. It's a bulldozer.
It's got 2 cylinders.
It is a bulldozer. It's
Steamroller is what you mean, but yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
is a steamroller.
Steamroller. Yes, sorry.
It's a foot roller.
Bulldozer is the one with the scoop in the front. Yeah. Steamroller.
Yeah.
It's a steamroller. Well, I think I don't know if he should have that one, but if we're going to call it a car, I guess we call it a car. It's not a motorcycle.
It is a car. It was cutting edge car technology for its time.
That's true. Ugh.
Dude, they even had canvas on it. That was super high tech.
Aaron, you usually pick such awesome esoteric choices. I expected one from a movie from the 1945 black and white version of this French thing, and I've been like, oh, that's a really cool choice. I'd like to know what that is and look it up. He picks the fucking Flintstone.
I actually, based on Googling, I've not seen this movie, but apparently there's a talking car named Pristine, and I assumed he was going to pick that.
Yeah, no, that's from a Stephen King, isn't it? Stephen King?
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
There's so many cool... Okay. You know what, Aaron? I don't know why I'm giving you such a hard time.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. Also, go fuck yourself.
No, I'm just saying. I did not expect I did not expect that this time, but I'm going to respect it. I've decided.
I am impressed, both of you guys. Props. I assumed one of you was going to name a Transformer. I was going to veto that shit from the moon.
No, fuck
I was like, it's not a car. It's a person pretending to be a car.
It's a robot.
If the T-1000 turns into a car, it's not a car.
Nope.
Anyway.
How many did I not say? I said 8 more I didn't say. Can I go? I'll go fast.
Sure.
Van from the A-Team.
Bad.
Fast and Furious Supra.
Shitty.
Bond's Aston Martin.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not even.
Yeah, keep going.
The Mutt Cuts van from Dumb and Dumber.
Cats. Okay.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, because I actually saw that movie a lot. The Blues Brothers Squad Car, one of my favorite car movies. The Men in Black Crown Victoria.
Okay.
And the only one that
Wasn't it a Lincoln Continental?
No, it's a Crown Vic.
Oh, okay.
And the last one is one that is not a car, so I wasn't even going to say it, but I put it on my list anyway. I kept it because I love it. Is the Light Cycle from Tron, but that's not a car, so I wouldn't be able to do it.
My favorite is Mountain Doom. It's not a car, but it's my favorite.
Yeah.
So remaining, obviously, the General Lee, and the Winnebago from The Walking Dead was also on my list. It was probably not going to make it, though. It's just so iconic because it's such a long run of the show.
Yeah. The Starsky and Hutch Torino also nearly made my list. I really love that car.
There's a lot of these classics. I've never seen Dukes of Hazzard. I saw the movie remake. I saw the Starsky and Hutch movie remake.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I never saw the A-Team band outside of the movie remake. Like I didn't get to watch TV when that shit was on. So
right. Yeah, I watched the Dukes of Hazzard. I had seen the A-Team because my dad was a big fan. Like we had watched this kind of stuff. But the 3 ones I picked are the 3 from my childhood that I had like toys and I drew pictures. I was a real little gearhead.
What about Brock Sampson's '69 Charger?
Oh yeah, that's
that would have been good.
That would have been really good.
Fallback. All right,
his Charger because he drives it into the Monarch's
he
hideout.
Drives it everywhere. He's fucking hella dropping on people.
Yeah,
it's like they hit me with a truck. Like, Brock, are you okay?
That's like episode 2.
Get out. That's the pilot.
Oh,
the
that's
pilot
right.
of the show. He drives over like 75 people.
I remember the scene because they play that
wipers to get the blood out of the way.
And that noise they play, which is like dur, dur, dur.
It's the music.
Yeah, the music is amazing. He's just doing donuts in the middle of a bad guy hideout, murdering people.
They're all just running away, like just fucking knocking them down. All right. Well, sadly, we don't have time for any of the other topics we had prepared. Aaron took up the whole time talking about his vacation, but hopefully you guys enjoyed anyway.
I did. I'm the first fan.
I had several other things prepared, but then you just kept poking him to talk about Blood Bowl.
That's because I wanted to know. I want to know what I want my finger on the pulse of this hobby. I'm excited to know.
In other news, if you guys are interested in getting Blood Bowl teams of your own, listeners, I have just went through and updated my Etsy store to be updated with all the Blood Bowl teams I have. So, if you want,
I can tell you the Lizardmen team is fucking phenomenal looking. I'm gonna say that out loud.
Funnily enough, I've sold like 4 copies of the Snotling team in the last like 2 weeks. Did they update the Snotling team? No? Okay.
Nope.
Aaron is informing they have not.
I mean, you're aware there's an entire new edition coming out next month, right?
That would never stop GW from releasing new rules.
Okay. I just want to make sure you were aware.
In fact, that might actually encourage them to do more releasing. My personal favorite of 9th edition, the mission cards came out for how you play 40K. You have to have the mission cards. It was like impossible to play without. They sold out in one day. They didn't restock for 9 months. They didn't restock the mission cards. And then they restocked 3 months before the edition changed. I'm like, thanks, guys. I'm really glad I bought this $35 card deck that now is fucking useless. Anyway. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hopefully you had a good time. This has been Brandon.
And Parker.
And Aaron.
And you just listened to Aaron is Hungry.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just gonna put down infamous.